Hi everyone, this is Ben here from musictheoryacademy.com. In this video we're going to have a look at the treble clef and we're going to answer three questions. What is a treble clef? How do I learn the notes of the treble clef? And what about the ledger lines of the treble clef? So let's jump straight into it. Now you're probably aware that traditional music is written on 5 lines, and these lines are called the stave. And when you put a note on a line or a space on the stave, there's a very simple principle. The higher the note on the stave, the higher in pitch it is. The lower the note, the lower in pitch. So in this one here, we've got that note on the left hand side is clearly higher than the one on the right hand side. So we know that it is higher in pitch, but we don't know what notes they are until we put a clef. Now a clef is a bit like a code breaker. It tells you which lines and which spaces refer to what notes. And one of the most common clefs that you'll come across is the treble clef. Now, as soon as we put a treble clef at the beginning of the stave, then straight away it tells us what notes each of the lines and spaces are referring to. Okay, so here we've got a treble clef at the start, and you can see suddenly we've got all these notes and they've each got letters. So the bottom line we now know is an E, and it goes up in stages, so E, F, G, through the spaces and the lines, right up to that top line, which is an F. So we now know, as soon as we've put that treble clef there, what the note names are. So second question, how do I learn the notes of the treble clef? Because when you're wanting to play something, you can't just have all the notes written in front of you and trying to work out what those are. You need some way of being able to remember them. And this has always been done through the note rhymes. Now, in order to learn the lines on the treble clef, there's a note rhyme that's been around for years and years and years, and it's simply, every good boy deserves food. You sometimes get every good boy deserves football, but it's not original to me. It's been around for years and years and years, but it's really easy to learn. Keep saying it to yourself, and you'll find that you can easily count up those lines. For the spaces, it spells a word, F-A-C-E, face. Face is in the space. So you've got a rhyme there for the lines, and you've got something there for the space. It's worth having this, you could have it on your phone, you can print it out, put it on your wall, and somebody just keep saying it to yourself until you remember them. So, what about the ledger lines of the treble clef? Now, it's all very well these 5 lines on the stave, but if we want to have a note that's higher or lower than the stave, then we need to put in these ledger lines. Now, it's particularly important that you know about one ledger line that is below, and that's middle C. Okay, so middle C is on, as you can see from this, is on a little line just below the stave. And you will come across that loads. If you're just starting to play the piano, it's one of the first notes, if not the first note, that you'll be directed to on the piano. And it just so happens to be on that ledger line below the stave on the treble clef. But it's not on its own. As you can see, you've got lots and lots of ledger lines. So you can see middle C there, and then it goes right down on the left-hand side, B, A, G, right down to an F on 3 ledger lines below the stave. Sometimes it might even go down to an E. And then if you go up the top end, you've got A, B, C, D, up to an E there. Now, those are tricky to read when you first come across them. And if you're just learning an instrument, you won't come across those for quite a long time. But as you start to look at them, your brain just gets used to it. The more you look at it, and when you first start, you're counting up and going, oh my goodness, that's 3 different lines, oh, that's an E. But then very quickly you'll find that your brain just computes it, and you're able to see those ledger lines just with a bit of practice. But the main one to think about to start with is that middle C. That's really important, and you'll come across that a lot. So we've had a look at this. What is a treble clef? How do we learn the notes of the treble clef? And we've looked at the ledger lines of the treble clef. To take this further, click on the link below the video, look at the lesson I've got on my site, which is on treble clef. I've got a quiz there which tests you on the notes of the treble clef, including the ledger lines, so you can really have a go at trying to commit this to memory and learn it. Anyway, I hope that's really helped you, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.